Hello. Hello, mic testing. Hello. Hello, good morning. Hello. ठीक है. It's okay. Hello, very good morning, all of you. And welcome to today's program of National Youth Day. We'll be starting our program with floral tributes at the statue of Swami Vivekananda. As you know, National Youth Day is celebrated on the occasion of birth anniversary of Swami Vivekananda. And so our program will start with floral tribute at his statue in the courtyard, followed by all the guests will be coming on the dais. They will be taking their seats, and then we will be having the national anthem, and then the small public meeting, whatever, and then we will have a good lunch after the program is over. We will be joined by most of the youths from this institute as well as others through YouTube Live. Since we are having restrictions on account of COVID, so only we had to resort to this hybrid mode with handful of people in the audience and maximum joining through YouTube. So just wait for the announcements. We'll be starting, our guests have already arrived, and we'll be starting any moment with the floral tributes at the statue of Swami Vivekananda. So please wait for the next announcement. Thank you. request all of you kindly to give a standing ovation to our guests and a round of applause, please. Our chief guest this morning, Sri Atul J. Nikam. May I request our chief guest with Secretary Maharaj, revered Swami Vivekananda Ji Maharaj, and Assistant Secretary Divya Swarupananda Ji Maharaj kindly to come on the dais and take his seat, please. So I would request all of you kindly to join for the national anthem. This would be led by the Vivekananda Youth Forum on the dais, and all from the audience would please join for national anthem. May I request all of you kindly to rise for the national anthem.
सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मागे गाए तब जय गाथा जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you all. Namaskar, very good morning to all of you. We are here today this morning to celebrate the National Youth Day, the biggest festival, or rather the Youth Festival on account of National Youth Day is being celebrated in Puducherry, which was supposed to be an offline event for 2 days, today and tomorrow, is because of the COVID restrictions and because of COVID situations is being organized online now, and participants, or rather the youths from entire country, district wise, they are joining for this program, and this program is going to be inaugurated online by none other than the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Sri Narendra Modi, through video conferencing. Most senior ministers, even the Honorable Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs, Anurag Singh Thakur, also would be addressing the youths of the nation. And so here today, when we celebrate the National Youth Day here from Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Cultural Center, we also join the rest of India in celebrating the National Youth Day, or rather the 25th National Youth Day being organized throughout the country. Our program this morning, with handful of people in the audience because of COVID restrictions, would be mainly streamed live on YouTube for all other students of this institute to join, and also other volunteers and other youths. We have started our program with the floral tribute at the statue of Swami Vivekananda by our chief guest and other guests, and also the representative from the Directorate of Sports and Youth Affairs, Government of Meghalaya. We have got Mr. Gobi Walang, Youth Coordinator, who also has done his floral tribute at the statue of Swami Vivekananda with a bouquet of flower. And we will begin our program here in this hall with lighting of the lamp. And for this, may I request our chief guest, Sri Atul J. Nikam, our Secretary of Ramakrishna Mission Shillong, revered Swami Vivekananda Ji Maharaj, Swami Divya Swarupananda Ji Maharaj, kindly to light the lamp. And may I request Rejoice, one of the teachers of this institute, kindly to help our guests for lighting of the lamp. This lighting of the lamp amidst Vedic chanting by the Vivekananda Youth Forum.
तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। शं नो मित्रा शं वरुणः शं नो भवत्वर्यमा शं न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शं नो विष्णुरुक्रमः। नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायु त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ।
Here is the English version of the Sanskrit hymns that we just heard from the or rather a few participants from the Vivekananda Youth Forum. The first one: may he protect us both, the teacher and the taught, together. May he nourish us both together. May we both, the teacher and the taught, together acquire vigor arising from knowledge. Let our study be faithful and invigorating. May we not have ill feeling against each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. May Mitra, friend, be propitious to us. May Varuna be propitious to us. May Aryaman be propitious to us. May Indra and Brihaspati be propitious to us. Salutations to Brahman. Salutations to you, O Vayu. You indeed are immediate Brahma. You alone I shall call the direct Brahman. I shall call you righteous. I shall call you truth. May he, the all-pervasive Brahma called Vayu, protect me. May he protect the teacher. May he protect me. May he protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace, peace. The last one, Purnamadam. That supreme unmanifest Brahma is infinite, and this condition of Brahma, that is the manifest universe, is infinite. The infinite universe proceeds from the infinite. After removing the infinite from the infinite alone remains, which is being now researched by the scientists of CERN. It is no surprise that this philosophy of India is vigorously researched and thoroughly through scientific means by the people in Jet Propulsion Laboratory, that is NASA and CERN. So now we will have Shadesh Mantra, kind of a pledge to be taken by the youth, a few representatives in the form of Youth Forum members, and I would also request those from the audience can also join in this pledge. Swadesh Mantra given by Swami Vivekananda.
स्वदेश मंत्र। हे भारत यह परानुवाद परानुकरण परमुखापेक्षा इन दासों की सी दुर्बलता इस घृणित जघन्य निष्ठुरता से ही तुम बड़े बड़े अधिकार प्राप्त करोगे। क्या इसी लज्जास्पद कापुरुषता से तुम वीर भोग्य स्वाधीनता प्राप्त करोगे। हे भारत मत भूलना कि तुम्हारी नारी जाति का आदर्श सीता सावित्री और दमयंती है। मत भूलना कि तुम्हारे उपास्य उमानाथ सर्वत्यागी शंकर हैं।
मत
मत भूलना कि
कि
तुम्हारा विवाह धन और तुम्हारा जीवन इंद्रिय सुख के लिए अपने व्यक्तिगत सुख के लिए नहीं है। मत भूलना कि तुम जन्म से ही माता के लिए बलि स्वरूप रखे गए हो। मत भूलना कि तुम्हारा समाज उस विराट महामाया की छाया मात्र है। मत भूलना कि नीच अज्ञानी चामार और मेहतर तुम्हारा रक्त तुम्हारे भाई हैं। हे वीर साहस का अवलंबन करो। गर्व से बोलो कि मैं भारतवासी हूँ और प्रत्येक भारतवासी मेरा भाई है। तुम गर्व से कहो कि अज्ञानी भारतवासी दरिद्र भारतवासी ब्राह्मण भारतवासी चांडाल भारतवासी सब मेरे भाई हैं। तुम भी कटिमात्र वस्त्रावृत होकर गर्व से पुकार कर कहो कि भारतवासी मेरे भाई हैं। भारतवासी मेरे प्राण हैं। भारत के सभी देवी देवता मेरे ईश्वर हैं। भारत का समाज मेरी शिशु सैया मेरे यौवन का उपवन और मेरे वार्धक्य की वाराणसी है। भाई बोलो कि भारत की मृत्तिका मेरा स्वर्ग है। भारत के कल्याण में मेरा कल्याण है। और रात दिन कहते रहो कि हे गौरीनाथ हे जगदम्बे मुझे मनुष्यत्व दो। माँ मेरी दुर्बलता और कापुरुषता दूर कर दो। मुझे मनुष्य बनाओ।
Thank you, all the members of Vivekananda Youth Forum. Vivekananda Youth Forum is a wing of Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Cultural Center. Sessions are held every Sunday afternoon, and these youths not only they learn something of the cultures of India, but also do volunteer for many services. A part of it is Lend Thy Hand. Lend Thy Hand, once again a group from here who are always at the help of anyone who needs, especially during the COVID period. These Lend Thy Hand people, the Vivekananda Youth Forum, they did participate in distribution of relief materials to the needy, especially towards the remote corners of Meghalaya. Now it's time for welcome and introduction. But before we go for the formal welcome and introduction, would like to present as a token of gratitude to our chief guest, Sri Atul Janikam, one small token of love from Ramakrishna Mission Shillong. And may I request our Secretary Maharaj kindly to hand over the gift to our chief guest. This is a token of gratitude from Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Cultural Center. Thank you, sir. Thank you for accepting. And may we now invite Revered Swami Vivekananda Maharaj, Secretary of Ramakrishna Mission Shillong, for his welcome and introduction.
नमः श्री यतिराजाय विवेकानंद सूरये सच्चित् सुख स्वरूपाय स्वामिने तापहारिणे. Today is a very special day for Ramakrishna Mission in general and for the people of India in a very special way. because this day has been declared by Government of India as the National Youth Day. Many years after Swami Vivekananda left his earthly existence. It was in 1902 when India was still under foreign subjugation, but it took almost 83 years, I think, to decide upon that no second person like Swami Vivekananda can represent the spirit of the youth in India. Not only in India, he is believed and looked upon as a youth icon all over the world. He declared himself that I shall not see 40. And he actually did it very consciously, as he understood that the divine power that expressed through him to teach humanity that whole humanity is one, and everything that is in this universe, animate or inanimate, living, non-living, as we perceive it, everything has come out of one true consciousness, which according to Sanatana Dharma is called Brahman or Supreme Consciousness, nearest attribute of which is absolute truth, absolute existence, absolute bliss. So, the point of view that Swami Vivekananda upheld before the world, something, an ideal which was exemplified in the life of his own teacher and mentor, Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. It was that the concept of God, concept of a creator is not anybody's brainchild or concocted idea. When this creation is there, a creator is also is there, but creation cannot come out of vacuum or nothingness. Only the manifested universe sometimes may be perceived by us through our senses or the devices we develop to increase the ability of the senses, and sometimes not. But that doesn't mean that we are in vacuum. Never we were, not we are, neither we will be. So he told, I have one message to give to the world, that is, we are divine, each of us, and we have the potential to be one with God in whatever way we approach it. Such a message that preaches the oneness of the humanity and the universe put together is unparalleled, and people following any specific sampradaya, religious faith or religious path can make best use of it to bring out their best potential to benefit the mankind locally and universally. 12th January is observed according to English calendar as his birthday, as he was born on that day in 1863. But in Ramakrishna mission, or according to the Indian astronomical calculation, we follow the specific tithi in which he was born, which this year will occur on 25th January, when in Ramakrishna mission centers. That will be observed through puja, worship and other things. As for the youth who are rather less concerned about so-called spiritual and religious things, the great message that he has left behind is, as has been read by our members of Youth Forum associated with this institute, it is a pledge that he himself coined in one of a very small a kind of booklet, Modern India in English translation. In Bengali he composed it. It is called Bartaman Bharat. He tried to produce in that book how Indian civilization progressed through the ages, something of which is not properly taught in our history books till date. We hope it will be in future. At least the whole history of India was truncated almost before birth of Buddha, a Buddhistic era. And after that everything came into this. That is not the fact. Anyway, without going into those things, Swamiji believed in the India that is eternal. There is a compilation of his ideas, and it is a subsidized book published by Ramakrishna Mission for the benefit of the youth in particular. It is called My India, the India Eternal. I wish all our youth friends, they should have this book, go through it to refresh themselves, to empower themselves. On this day, our Honorable Chief Guest, who has been very kind to us to grace this occasion, in the absence of actual Chief Guest who was designed for this program, as he could not attend it, but Mr. Atul J. Nikam, the State Director of Nehru Yuva Kendra, has obliged us by agreeing to officiate this program on this very special day. We welcome him and other of his important team members who are working with Nehru Yuva Kendra, who has accompanied him. I welcome all the young students associated with this institute and young men who have come from Nehru Yuva Kendra. I had the good occasion of being a resource person in at least 10 or 12 programs in Tripura, where I worked for 8.5 years. So I know Nehru Yuva Kendra, who are actually trying the great task of unifying India in spite of retaining all the regional diversities. That is the task of the moment, very important task, and keeping a personality like Swami Vivekananda and his ideas, specifically ideas of national integration, in the center, we can do it much better. And I think Nehru Yuva Kendra does it, but the programs like Bharat Darshan, students of very interior parts of India are taken as a group to move through India, through all the states, witness their cultural diversities, development and other things. This sort of program, if Nehru Yuva Kendra also takes up from its own initiative without depending on government, I think that will contribute a lot in rather taking the people of Meghalaya, who are rather in a corner of India, to the rest of the world and see that we are part and parcel, an important component of a great mosaic of cultural diversities that is India. On this day, I request all the youth friends to study Swamiji with a free mind, without any preconceived notion, and observe Swamiji's ideas in their own ways, put it into practice, benefit themselves and benefit the society as large. Again, by welcoming all of you and welcome the chief guest and his associates in particular, I conclude. Thank you.
Man is born to conquer nature and not to follow it, quote unquote, from Swami Vivekananda. Such strong words, and his words has been encouraging millions of people across the globe. It's no surprise that even present day we find that National Youth Day not only observed in India, in some other parts of the globe also. He is a youth personified, and reading his books, you get that much inspiration that is required to excel in life. So it's no surprise that Maharaji also has suggested, go through those books of Swami Vivekananda to get the inspiration and build your life. So now here on to speak, or rather a presentation on Swami Vivekananda, his teachings, which is going to be presented by Miss Ananya Roy.
Tam deshikendram paramam pavitram vishwasya palam madhuram yatindram hitaya nrinam naramurti mantam Vivekanandam mahang namami. My salutation to that great soul who came on earth for the benefit of humankind. As we move through this presentation, we will be able to see some of the rare stamps that was published by the Postal Department, not only of India but of other countries. Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, a freedom movement that became a saga. Swami Vivekananda's influence on Indian freedom struggle. Without a background of wide national consciousness, no freedom movement is possible. English education, Indian press, regional literature, reform movements, political parties including the Congress came and spread their influence. But in spite of all these, powerful national consciousness was not there. Vivekananda understood the British rule as purely capitalistic, with merciless exploitation as its sole objective. Unfortunately, the political leaders of his time could not understand this. Those leaders thought the British rule was a divine dispensation and that it was beneficial to the people. Let us try to understand the layers of India's freedom struggle during the last quarter of 19th century and the first quarter of 20th century through the lives of a few freedom fighters who were influenced by Swami Vivekananda. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. Hemchandra Kanungo Das, born 1871 till 1951. Hemchandra Kanungo Das was an Indian nationalist who was the creator of the Indian flag that was raised on 22nd August 1907 at the International Socialist Conference in Stuttgart, Germany. He was probably the first revolutionary from India who went abroad to obtain military and political training, an Indian nationalist and a member of the Anushilan Samiti. Kanungo traveled to Paris in 1907, where he learned the technique of assembling picric acid bombs from exiled Russian revolutionaries. Kanungo's knowledge was disseminated throughout Indian nationalist organizations in the British reign. In 1908, Kanungo was one of the principal co-accused with Aurobindo Ghosh in the Alipur bomb case. He was sentenced to transportation for life in the Andamans, but was released in 1921. Though Swami Vivekananda never advocated political involvement of his disciples, but in a way Sister Nivedita was the standard bearer of Swami Vivekananda in the political field. Kanungo was greatly influenced by her and described her rousing speeches as dynamite. Sri Aurobindo, born 1872 till 1950, was an Indian philosopher, yoga guru, Maharshi, poet and Indian nationalist. He was also a journalist, editing newspapers such as Bande Mataram and Dharma. He joined the Indian movement for independence from British colonial rule until 1910, was one of its influential leaders. He established a series of youth clubs, including the Anushilan Samiti. Aurobindo attended the 1906 Congress meeting headed by Dadabhai Naroji and participated as a councillor in forming the fourfold objective of Swaraj, Swadesh, boycott and national education. His influence by Swami Vivekananda can be found in his Bhavani Mandir pamphlet. Aurobindo proclaimed that the one main reason behind the success of the Swadeshi movement was the spirit of Vivekananda which stood behind it. Aurobindo gave his call in the name of Vivekananda. Behold, he said, Vivekananda still lives in the soul of his mother and in the souls of her children. Vivekananda immensely influenced most of Aurobindoite revolutionaries like Barindra, Devabrata, Bhupendranath, Baghajatin on the paper Jugantar, which exercised an enormous influence in the minds of young revolutionaries. Bal Gangadhar Tilak, known as Lokamanya, born 1856 till 1920, Tilak was a scholar, mathematician, philosopher, an ardent nationalist who helped lay the foundation of India's independence by building his defiance of British rule into a national movement. He founded and served as president of the Indian Home Rule League. The forms of political action initiated by Tilak, the boycotting of goods and passive resistance, were later adopted by Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, that is Mahatma Gandhi, in his program of non-violent non-cooperation with the British, which we know as Satyagraha. He launched the Home Rule League with a rousing slogan, Swarajya is my birthright and I will have it. Tilak visited England in 1918 as president of Indian Home Rule League. He established firm relationships with Labour Party leaders of the British. His foresight was justified. It was the Labour government that granted independence to India in 1947. In tributes, Gandhiji called him the maker of modern India. Bal Gangadhar Tilak met Vivekananda on several occasions. The first was when the latter was travelling across the country, remaining mostly anonymous. Tilak said later that Vivekananda roused the much needed national consciousness of India. Tilak's journal, Maharashtra, wrote, Vivekananda is the real father of the Indian nationalism. Every Indian is proud of this father of modern India. Subhash Chandra Bose, 1897 till 1945. He was one of India's greatest freedom fighters. He revived the Indian National Army, popularly known as Azad Hind Fauj, originally formed by Rash Bihari Bose. He had visited London during the pre-independence period to discuss the future of India with the members of the Labour Party. Subhash Chandra Bose worked under the leadership of Chittaranjan Das, an active member of Congress in Calcutta. In the freedom struggle, Congress was a large organization. Subhash Chandra Bose became a strong leader in Congress, and he made several attempts to mold the entire party differently. This was against the opinion of the senior leaders of Congress and thus had alienated him from the party. During his sojourn to England, he met with the leaders of British Labour Party and political thinkers including Clement Attlee, Arthur Greenwood, etc. Bose also discussed with them about the future of India. We may note that it was during the regime of the Labour Party with Attlee as the Prime Minister that India gained independence. Vivekananda's influence on Subhash Chandra Bose, that was immense. At 15, he came across the books of Swami Vivekananda and his life turned upside down. Subhash writes about that time, "I was barely 15 when Vivekananda entered my life. Then there followed a revolution within and everything was turned upside down." In a letter he writes, "What was India and what is she now? What a terrible change. But there is hope yet. I think there is hope yet. The angel of hope has appeared in our midst to put fire in our soul and to shake off our dull sloth. It is saintly Vivekananda. There stands he with his angelic appearance, his large and piercing eyes, and his sacred dress to preach to the whole world the sacred truths lying embedded in India's heritage." Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, Mahatma Gandhi, 1869-1948, needs little introduction. Encyclopedia Britannica describes him as Indian lawyer, politician, social activist and writer who became the leader of the nationalist movement against the British rule of India. As such, he came to be considered the father of his country. Gandhi is internationally esteemed for his doctrine of non-violent protest to achieve political and social progress. Gandhiji attempted to meet Vivekananda in 1901 as a quite unknown delegate to the Calcutta session of the Indian National Congress. Gandhi walked to the Belur Mutt to try and meet the Swami. It was impossible, Gandhi later wrote, to be satisfied without seeing Swami Vivekananda. So with great enthusiasm I went to Belur Mutt. I was disappointed and sorry to be told that the Swami was at his Calcutta house, lying ill and could not be seen. Probably Gandhiji went through the writings and ideal of Vivekananda in the latter years, as such reflections can easily be noticed in his approach towards ahimsa and spiritual compassion, religion and education, fearlessness, awakening the masses, and more. In 1921, on a visit to the Mutt at Belur, the Mahatma movingly spoke of Vivekananda's deep impact on his understanding of India. The list is endless when we mention the influence of Vivekananda on India's freedom struggle and freedom fighters. Swami Vivekananda, the entire freedom movement was influenced by his thoughts, but his universal approach never made him utter any word of hatred against the Westerners, is a fact which is not surprising. Vivekananda appeared at the Parliament of Religions, Chicago, proclaimed there the glory of Indian civilization, recognition of our country's ancient heritage, and thereby gave back to Indians their long-lost esteem and self-confidence. He showed the way for nation building from a sound foundation. His primary role as a religious leader made him the spiritual leader of the freedom movement of India. He gathered vast, intimate experience of the life of people of the land in all its facets when he traveled for 6 years from one corner to the other and lived with kings and paupers. He had a thorough knowledge of Western ways. No doubt he was the man for the task. Started just 3 years after he passed away, the movement created a revolutionary element within Congress. The revolutionary activities took a definite shape during this time. Ultimately, the partition of Bengal led to the partition of British Empire. Vivekananda's inspiration was directly felt when Swadeshi movement, which started just 3 years after he passed away. On the occasion of National Youth Day today, let us re-ponder on what Mahatma Gandhi said at Belur Math exactly 100 years ago and pledge to ourselves. I have come here to pay my homage and respect to the revered memory of Swami Vivekananda, whose birthday is being celebrated today. I have gone through his works very thoroughly, and after having gone through them, the love that I had for my country became 1,000-fold. I ask you, young men, not to go away empty-handed without imbibing something of the spirit of the place where Swami Vivekananda lived. I request the same to all who are watching and are present here to imbibe the spirit of Swami Vivekananda, because this is the place where he delivered his last public lecture. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ananya. In our celebration of National Youth Day today, we are also joined by the Directorate of Sports and Youth Affairs, Government of Meghalaya, and few representatives of them are here in the audience also. May we invite Shri Bobby Walang, Youth Coordinator, on the dais, please, and may I request our Secretary of Ramakrishna Mission Shillong kindly to welcome him with a token of gratitude, please. Mr. Bobby Walang. We'd also request after that for a few words from him, just a token first for their collaborating with us on this occasion, and a few words from him, please.
First of all, I would like to wish Happy Youth Day to all the youths who are present here. Respected chief guest of today's function, Sir Atul Nikam, the State Director of NYKS, Meghalaya, Manipur and Mizoram. Maharaj, who are on the dais and off the dais. My officer, Shri Darling Khonglam, who is the sports officer in the Directorate of Sports and Youth Affairs. My colleague, Bansara, who is the archery coach, and Sri Klein, who is also the football coach, and other invitees and members of the Ramakrishna Mission, Ramakrishna Culture, from the Ramakrishna Cultural Center. I take this opportunity today to stand here on this National Youth Day, as we observe every year on the 12th of January. In the past 7 to 8 years before the COVID, I have never participated any of the program in the state, because I'm always busy participating in the national level. Every year we used to send 100 youths from our state for the National Youth Festival. It starts on the 12th of January and it ends up on the 16th of January, and it is organized in different parts of India. This year too, we were ready to send 100 youths. Before, we were informed that it will be organized in Himachal Pradesh. Later, last minute, it was changed to Pondicherry, which is called now. But unfortunately, again, because of the lockdown there, we could not send our youths to participate in the National Youth Festival. But at present, the Prime Minister is addressing the youths. We have registered, yesterday we have registered 1,000 of youths from our state. Hopefully most of them are watching the speech of our Honorable Prime Minister. During the opening speech of our Maharaj was talking about the life of Swamiji. And also, I heard him saying regarding the Bharat Darshan of the youths, which our office, the directorate, which we look after the youth welfare. We have sports and youth affairs, we look after the youth affairs. We have started this type of concept of Bharat Darshan in 2014. 2014 we started this concept, where till date, till 2019, we have sent more than 1,000 of youths in different parts of India. We organize from the district level, 2 days, 3 days program. We call the youths from the district level, and from the district level they come to the state level, where we have youths of 350 from all the district of Meghalaya. 300 youths for 7 days, different type of programs, lectures, resource persons. And you won't believe it, these are the youths who's coming to Shillong for the first time. Coming to Shillong for the first time. We try to select such a youth who have not been to Shillong. And then after the state level, we filtered them, we take their interview, and we select approximately about 130 youths to represent Meghalaya in the mainlands of India. You won't believe it, my dear young friends, and all the officials who are here. We started a program from Jammu and Kashmir up to Kanyakumari, from Manipur to Gujarat. We have sent youths in different parts of India. Then the last program, after the national program, we have the international program. Till date, again, my dear friends, more than 300 to 400 youths has been sent to different countries. We have sent youths, 26 youths before the COVID, to Hong Kong. We have sent youths to Singapore. And in 2019, we have sent youths to Bhutan. And we still have lots. But unfortunately, because of the COVID, we cannot send youths to different parts or to other countries. This is, why are we doing this? This is to motivate our youths, to bring them to know the culture of other countries, other state. Main is from our own state. You won't believe it, when we send youths to other states, the mainlands of India, this is for the first time they are in the train. They are first time visiting some mainland of India. And with our hard work, with the blessing of the Almighty, the youths could meet the governor, the chief minister of different states. During the visit to Orissa, Sir Jamir was the governor, and we had an appointment with Sir Jamir in Raj Bhavan. When we went to Raj Bhavan, and Sir, the Honorable Petroleum Minister, Sri Dharmender Singh, when we went there, because when we go outside, it's not that meeting the youth, interacting with the youth. We have the cultural exchange also. The Khasi, the Garo, and the Jaintias. 3 tribes, and our sub-tribe, the Hajong and others. When we perform the Garo dance, the Khasi songs, others, the Sir Honorable Union Minister Sri Dharmender Singh was so impressed that he have invited us to a 5-star hotel for one more cultural program in front of the top officials from Orissa. So that is the spirit of our youths. Wherever we go, as an ambassador of our state, we make sure that our culture is represented in a proper way. And the way we meet the youths, interaction with the youths, we make sure that they interact with the youth, they speak to the youths, not just going and doing the sightseeing and coming back. No. Some impression should be there about the host state and about the visiting state. This is all what we have learned from the teaching of Vivekananda, Swamiji. I always, whenever I go, I talk about it, because he is also an youth icon. And we have to learn a lot from him. What Swamiji said, some books are there, you should get the books, you should read. Then you'll understand more about Swamiji. Just standing here, I'm talking to you, you'll not understand about Swamiji. If you want to know more about Swamiji, you have to read different type of books of Swamiji. We have sent youths to different parts of India in collaboration with the Ramakrishna Mission, in collaboration with the Nehru Vivekananda Sangathan, and in collaboration with the Bharat Scouts and Guides. Because these are the youth institutions which we have the full faith that if we collaborate with this organization, our youths will be benefited. And you won't believe it, as I told you first time, when they come back, their mindset, the mindset change. And most of the youths in Meghalaya who have been to different parts of India, who have been to different countries, are the youth leaders at present, are the youth leaders. And they are doing very good in their life. They have been organizing program in their localities, in their districts. They have been awarded the district youth award by the Nehru Vivekananda Sangathan. And some of them, they have applied for the national youth award. Because we as a leader, what I am today, what my colleagues are today, is not that overnight we have become like this. No. We were youths like you only. We come for the program, we listen to the program, we listen to the resource person. We take that interest in it. Then only today we are the leaders. I will not take much time. Before I conclude, I will just like to share with you one true story which has happened with Swami Vivekananda when he was in England. As you all know, Swamiji is a monk. He put on this type of dress. And in England, the people, they are very formal. They are very polished. They are always with their necktie, with their blazer, and they are always a gentleman. When Swamiji was in a conference, and when he stood up to speak, one person sitting opposite to Swamiji, he got irritated because he saw Swamiji was wearing a monk dress among all the gentlemen there. Then he told Swamiji, can't you wear a proper dress to become a gentleman? Swamiji was silent. Then he told the gentleman, in your country, that is England, clothes make gentlemen. In my country, India, character make gentlemen. Thank you very much. Jai Hind, Kublai Shibun.
Many youths have been joining in youth convention in different parts of India through the platform of Ramakrishna Mission till we got crippled by the COVID situations. I remember since 1998, many people, many young boys and girls have joined in youth convention held in Lucknow, in Gujarat, in many other parts. And this is once again reiterating Mr. Bobby Walang that this is to encourage, this information is to encourage you all to come up and also participate in youth conventions. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much indeed. I'm sure your words will encourage the youth, those who are here, plus those who are watching it on Facebook and YouTube. Now it's time that with just a small program that every year we publish a small calendar from Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda and the Cultural Center. May I request our chief guest and also our secretary and assistant secretary kindly to mark the release of the calendar today on today's occasion. It's a calendar from Ramakrishna Mission. Sir, just unwind it and mark the opening of the calendar. This will be given to all of you during the time of lunch. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We are so very thankful to our chief guest, Sri Atul J. Nikam, State Director of Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan. He has been dealing with the youth and youth affairs, not only here in Meghalaya or Northeast, but also many other states of the country, rather throughout the country, and he has got immense experience of dealing with the youth. So it's very appropriate that we have got him with us today, this morning rather, as our chief guest. And may we now invite him for a few words. Sri Atul J. Nikam.
Ramakrishna Mission, Shillong, arranged this program in the chairmanship of Honorable Swami Vivekananda ji, Secretary of Ramakrishna Mission Shillong, Swami Divya ji, Center in charge of Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Cultural Center, officials from Sports Department, my friend Bobby Wallen, Executive Magistrate of Shillong, National Youth Authority of Meghalaya State, my colleague Devashish, Account Officer of Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan, and the all distinguished guests. Today, I feel privileged to be here this morning and stand on the same dais from where on 27th April 1901, Swami Vivekananda ji addressed the common people of Shillong. In this institute has been doing an excellent job in bringing all youth from all walks of life and from different strata of life on a single platform. Today, millions of people are trapped in an unending spiral of violence across the world. The violence is caused by many factors: political, economic, social, historical, and ideological. The ongoing conflicts have also created geopolitical complications in India. The land of Buddha, Chaitanya, Nanak, Kabir, the land of Vedas and Upanishad, the land of Ramayana and Mahabharata. To build the future, we have to take help from the past. Those who ignore history are condemned to live it. This is the old saying. Today's youth are disconnected from the past. Swami Vivekananda has inspired countless generations of Indians since he made his famous speech on 11 September 1893 at Chicago, at the world's Parliament of Religion. He exposed the Western world to the spiritual aspects of the Hindu religion and Indian civilization. He also dealt with the youth's capacity and capabilities. He wanted the youth to train itself to give service of humanity. It is useful to review what Swami Vivekananda had to say to the youth. He said that goal of life is unselfishness and living for others. Life is all about sacrifice. Sacrifice in the past has been the law. It will be, alas, for ages to come. The earth of harvest and best will have to sacrifice themselves for the good men, for the welfare of all. Buddhas by the hundred are necessary with the eternal love and pity. He wanted the youth to give up the jealousy and conceit. From him, working for the poor was the highest form of work. Youth must be sensitive to the poor and work for them. This is particularly today when the inequalities in society are increasing. He said, "Feel my children, feel for the poor, the ignorant, the downtrodden, feel till the heart stops, and the brain reels and you think you will go mad." The Government of India therefore very aptly declared his birthday as the National Youth Day. Nehru Yuva Kendra Sangathan, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, celebrating this day as a National Youth Day. Today, Honorable Prime Minister Sri Narendra Ji Modi inaugurated 25th National Youth Day online at Pondicherry. We live in a very critical junction of history when there are too many incidents taking place with their lasting impacts on our lives. There is disturbing news every moment. Killing has become a daily phenomenon. Crime is on the rise, and all these incidents cast a negative spell on life of them, that we rededicate ourselves more to the cause of society, the nation. The youth cannot shy away from its responsibilities towards nation building. On this auspicious occasion, I call upon all of you to realize that immense potentiality and power in you and make a mark for your society of the nation. If you wish, you can achieve anything, and the nation awaits your contribution to India's higher plane of success and shining. I would conclude with the words of Swamiji while calling upon the youth. He said, "Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached." उठो, जागो और तब तक ना रुको जब तक ध्येय प्राप्ति ना हो. This is still very pertinent and should work as a tonic of inspiration for all. Swami Vivekananda was preaching in the 19th century when India was colonized. 70 years into independence and destined to rise further. Let India's rise be beneficial not only to our people but also to the world. The message of Vasudeva Kutumbakam, that is, the world is one family, is highly relevant. Youth need to believe in this. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
Arise, awake, and stop not till the goal is reached is the clarion call from Swamiji. And Swamiji had always reposed much of his faith on the youth for better days. And it's no surprise that present-day world also depends on the youth for a better tomorrow. Sir, thank you so much. Thank you so much indeed for the encouraging words. We are almost on to the closing part of the program today. We are left with only words of gratitude, but before that, let's listen to a song, closing song, which is going to be presented by a few students of Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Cultural Center. Here we run a computer center besides various other activities and we almost cater to around 5,000 students every year. So here are a few students with their closing song titled Kasneng Ka Krao. It's a Khasi song, and in English it would be something like the guidance of the elders, guidance of the parents, something like that. So here is the closing song by a few students of Ramakrishna Mission Vivekananda Cultural Center. Thank you, students. Thank you so much indeed for the beautiful number that you had presented. Thank you so much. Now for words of gratitude, may we invite Swami Vivekananda Ji Maharaj, Assistant Secretary and Monk in charge of this institute.
Namo Sri Jatirajaya Vivekananda Surya Satyit Shukla Swarupaya Shamini Tapahal. a lot has been said, and you have also heard the words of Swami Vivekananda as it is. And I believe the spirit that you have received today will not fade away so soon. On today's auspicious day, when the whole environment is filled with the thoughts and spirit of Swami Vivekananda, my mind was pondering upon another aspect of Swami Vivekananda's life and teaching that is less spoken on a youth day. One of his famous sayings is that each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest this divinity within by controlling nature, external and internal. Do this either by work or worship or psychic control or philosophy, by one or more or all of these, and be free. This is the whole of religion. Doctrines or dogmas or rituals or books or temples or forms are but secondary details. So when each soul is divine and the goal is to manifest it, then the responsibility lies with the youth, no matter which part of the society you belongs. If you bring about your true potential, the rest of the world would just see a leader in you, and they will follow the means and paths in which you have walked. Now, as I propose the vote of thanks from the stage where once this very spiritual giant spoke, are cordially thanks Sri Otulji Nikam, State Director, Nehru Yuva Kendra, who inspires you with his thoughts on National Youth Day. I highly appreciate the fact that he took time to visit us from his busy schedule. Also the members of Sports Department who are here to celebrate this day with us. I offer my pranams to Revered Swami Hitakamanandaji Maharaj, whose constant inspiration is visible for all 3 days programs that we are having. I also thank my brother monks, teachers, staffs, who went beyond their duty to do all the work that was necessary to be done. I congratulate all the volunteers and students who enjoyed so much of hard work just because it was done with the spirit of Swami Vivekananda. May his choicest blessings be showered upon all. To Ya Baka Jing Kirku Kandep Hai Baro. Kublai Sibu, lot of thanks to you.
Maharaj, thank you also. Thank you so much. And now we'll close our program with the national anthem. But before that, here are certain announcements. For the students who are watching it on YouTube, some of the classes will start tomorrow and some other classes in coming days. The information has been given in WhatsApp groups. Please see it, and if you have any confusion, you may please contact our office. So may I request all of you kindly, all in the audience, kindly to rise and join for the national anthem. We close with this national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंधु गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाए तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे.
Thank you all. Thank you so much. And with the permission from the chair, we declare our program is closed. I would request still our students and volunteers kindly to give a standing ovation to our guests and dignitaries when they leave the hall, and also give them a big round of applause, please.